Welcome, everyone, to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom, where we take a lighthearted dive into the deeper corners of natural health. I'm Ethan Foster, your slightly bewildered observer of all things human, and I'll be joined shortly by my brilliant co-host. But first, allow me to say, sometimes the very best insights about getting older aren't buried in medical textbooks. They're right at the ends of our fingers and toes, which is a little too close for comfort, if you ask me.
And as always, I'm Alara Sky. Let's get to the big question. Why on earth are we talking about nails? I don't mean hammered into a wall nails, by the way. I'm talking about those lovely keratin-packed plates attached to our fingertips.
You know, it's funny. When people think about markers of aging, they usually think of wrinkles, gray hair, or that dramatic moment when they realize their knees sound like bubble wrap. They rarely think, let me check my nails for the inside scoop on my health and lifespan. Yet, here we are, giving nails the red carpet treatment.
Exactly. People check their phone battery percentage more often than they check their nails for signs of, say, nutritional deficiencies. But research going all the way back to 1979, yes, that's a while, suggests your nail growth rate basically shows how fast you're aging. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the gist of it. Slower nail growth? It might mean your body's overall processes are pumping the brakes.
I'm picturing an ominous speedometer on the side of my nail. Warning, your metabolism is running on low. Proceed with caution. Meanwhile, it's like, great. So not only do I have to worry about clipping them, now I have to track their speed like a baseball statistician.
Hey, at least it's a free built-in health monitor. Unlike some fancy gadgets, nails don't come with an instruction manual or a subscription fee, although occasionally we pay in chipped polish and existential dread. But let's break it down for everyone listening. Nails slow in growth by about 0.5% each year, meaning by the time you're 100, your nails grow about 50% slower than they did in your 20s.
If I reach 100, I probably won't mind the half-speed growth. Because, to be fair, people that age usually have more pressing concerns, like figuring out if the remote is in the freezer again. But if this slowdown indicates something deeper, like a metabolic deceleration, then maybe it's something to keep an eye on.
Indeed. And it's not just about speed. The texture, color, and shape of your nails all have stories to tell. For instance, there's this charming little half-moon shape at the base of the nail called the lunula. It's that white crescent we sometimes see, more visible on the thumbs than on the smaller fingers. If it goes AWOL, that might suggest your circulation or nutrient levels are on vacation as well.
I always wondered what that half moon was for. I thought maybe it was a built-in lunar calendar so we'd know when to go out and howl at night. Guess that's not it.
That's definitely not it. But if I catch you howling at the moon, at least I'll know you're passionate about your circadian rhythms. Anyway, this deeper link to circulation means that anytime your nails shift dramatically, like ridges pop up, color fades, or growth stalls, it might be your body waving a little red flag. Sometimes it's just your hands telling you, hey, we're cold, get us some gloves. But other times it can be a sign of a bigger issue.
So basically, if your nails are like, we surrender, we're done growing, it could be a silent cry for help from your metabolism, your thyroid, or your overall blood flow. Seems important. And I used to just worry about ragged cuticles. Boy, have my horizons expanded.
That's the glory of natural health revelations. You start out thinking, I just need to moisturize, and you end up diving into articles about thyroid function, keratin integrity, and the potential dangers of letting your feet freeze in the winter.
Also, I hear that men's nails and women's nails have different growth patterns. Men's nails initially grow faster, and then eventually women's nails catch up and surpass them in speed in the 80-year-old bracket. It's like a slow-motion race where everyone's eventually just strolling and chatting about the good old days.
Yes, the great nail race. It's definitely a fascinating fact. Apparently, the study from the late 70s even hinted that there's a cyclic nature to this growth, like 7-year intervals of changes. So you might find your nails go through phases. Some years they're unstoppable, other times they're practically on strike. Next time you notice you're trimming them less, maybe it's just that cyclical slowdown, not you turning into a sloth.
That's comforting. Another factor is temperature. If your hands and feet are perennially chilly, you can bet your nails won't be hitting any personal growth records. Warm blood flow basically helps them keep pace. So maybe I should invest in some fuzzy socks and stylish gloves, purely in the name of healthy nails.
We might trademark a new line of them. Ilara and Ethan's circulation-enhancing gloves. Think we can get on that? Anyway, it's common sense, but often overlooked. If your extremities are cold, that's poor circulation. It means fewer nutrients getting to your nails, and that can manifest as brittleness, slower growth, or ridges. Then, of course, if you throw hypothyroidism into the mix, it's a double whammy.
Oh, hypothyroidism, the gift that keeps on giving, in that it also keeps on taking your energy, your hair's luster, and apparently the growth rate of your nails. But what about those ridges I sometimes see? Some ridges look like teeny tiny speed bumps.
If they run from bottom to top, longitudinal ridges, they often signal a nutrient deficiency. Could be magnesium, could be iron, or maybe biotin. In older adults, they're incredibly common. The Indian Journal of Dermatology published a study showing a lot of folks over 60 have these ridges, brittle nails, thickening nails, or a decline in lunula visibility. All that equals, hey, maybe we need to tweak the lifestyle a bit.
So if those ridges were a scoreboard, it's like nutrients, 0, nails, 0, overall health, 0. We want to avoid that. Let's talk solutions. You mentioned nutrients. Biotin's big. Collagen is also big. Everybody's always talking about collagen these days. Bone broth is practically the star of every cooking show. Then we've got iron, but not too much, or it's risky in a different way. So we need that sweet spot.
It's a balancing act, yes. Collagen is indeed a star. It can strengthen nails, hair, joints, all that good stuff. And then there's biotin, sometimes referred to as vitamin B7. You can find it in pastured eggs, in beef from grass-fed sources, basically the kind of diet where you skip the junk oils and load up on real whole foods. Good news is, if you're indulging in a nutrient-dense, balanced diet, your nails often respond with a hearty, thank you, by being strong and less prone to breakage.
Speaking of oils, I recall reading about those dreaded vegetable oils, canola, soybean, sunflower. They have a high level of linoleic acid, which apparently leads to oxidative stress in the body. Not exactly the sidekick you want for healthy nails.
All those industrial seed oils can wreak havoc. Let's face it, if it's advertised as the heart-healthy choice in a bright plastic jug, it might not be giving you the wonderful nails you're hoping for. Also, dehydration is a big one. If you're always using harsh soaps or acetone nail polish remover, you're basically punishing your nails. Then they get brittle and start splitting in layers, like a croissant, but way less delicious.
Now I'm picturing a croissant made of nails. That's a horrifying mental image. Thanks for that. But fair point. We like to keep them from drying out. So maybe a little bit of natural oil or a gentle moisturizer after washing dishes or something.
Think of it like you're tucking your nails in for a nap. Keep them comfortable, protected, and don't be too harsh on them. Gloves when you're scrubbing the sink, a bit of natural oil rubbed in occasionally, and skip the daily chemical-laden polishes. Let them breathe. Also, no chain smoking, because that ruins your nails too, among other vital organs. But hey, we can't ignore the obvious.
I guess if your nails are turning yellow from cigarettes, that's a double reason to give them up. I can also imagine that consistent pressure from, say, tight shoes can thicken the toenails. I've seen older relatives with nails that look more like tiny tortoise shells than normal nails.
That thickening is called onychosis. Often happens in toenails because of friction, pressure, and not the best blood flow down there. Over time, keratin just goes into overdrive, resulting in nails that are basically mini shields, hard to cut, easy to dread, and a prime target for fungal infections.
Which just sounds like a laugh riot. Between the ridges, brittleness, dryness, and thickness, nails are basically screaming, "Pay attention to me." Meanwhile, we're like, "I'll just hide you under some socks and hope for the best." Maybe not the wise approach.
No, probably not wise, because that's how minor issues can evolve into major ones. We want to keep nails flexible, not so thick they can deflect bullets. That means looking at your daily habits. Everything from your posture, since good circulation depends partly on not blocking blood flow, to how often you do something as innocuous as playing the piano. Did you know regular typing or piano playing can actually help nails grow a bit faster? It's like a mini circulation boost to the fingertips.
This is my cue to go sign up for piano lessons. At least then I have an excuse when I'm writing my comedic routines. But Alara, I need my nails to be in top condition. I'm practicing the Moonlight Sonata.
If folks notice a dramatic change in how often they have to trim, it might be time to consider if they're getting enough protein in general, because nails are mostly keratin, which is a type of protein. If you're on a super low protein diet, you might starve your nails.
Interesting you mention that, because these days a lot of people jump onto dietary trends that might limit protein. And sure, short fasts can be beneficial, but if you're constantly depriving your body, your nails might stage a protest. The great thing about nails is you can literally observe them for a couple of weeks, see if your regimen is working. They're like a real-time progress indicator.
Exactly. If you keep an eye on them, you might save yourself from bigger health fiascos. They're an early warning sign. Even small changes like lowering stress can help. Chronic stress can reduce blood flow to your extremities, so if you're always anxious, you might see a reflection of that in your nails. Let's recap some basics. Keep your hands and feet warm, get the blood flowing with movement, add nutrient-dense foods with collagen, biotin, iron, magnesium, and skip the industrial seed oils that cause all sorts of trouble. Protect your nails from too much water and chemicals so they don't dry out. And if you see consistent or worsening changes, maybe investigate your thyroid or any underlying metabolic concerns.
You've basically delivered a miniature health manifesto, starring nails. And in the background, the entire body is nodding in agreement. Honestly, I think it's encouraging to know that something so ordinary can be so informative. It's like having a personal mini laboratory right at our fingertips, literally.
Literally. Another advantage, nails update more slowly than, say, a pimple on your face. So if you see a sign of deficiency in your nails, it's probably been going on for a bit. You can't just hide from it forever, but that means you can still correct it and track your improvement in real time. It's not overnight, but it's definitely tangible.
So, how about we give folks the confidence to check themselves out? I say, give your nails a once-over tonight. See if they look different than they did a month ago or a year ago. Pay attention to ridges, dryness, thickness, half moons. It's the best free health indicator we forget we have.
I love that. And because this is Dr. Mercola's cellular wisdom, it's about that synergy between everyday observation and deeper biology. Like the old saying goes, though I'm sure I'm butchering it, the nails know what the mind ignores, or something like that. Let's just pretend it's a brilliant ancient proverb.
We'll roll with it. And speaking of synergy, it sounds like the moral of today's episode is that nails are not just decorative. Sure, we can paint them green for a saint. Patrick's sale, but let's not forget that underneath that coat of color, they're showing us how well our body is fueling itself, circulating blood, and handling nutrients.
Exactly. And speaking of green-themed celebrations, what better time than a festive sale or event to reevaluate the oils you're using in your meals, or slip on some cozy socks if you live in a cold place? Just a bit of mindfulness can transform how you age, from the tips of your nails to the core of your metabolism.
Now, that's the kind of observation that belongs on a t-shirt. Mindful nails, youthful life, or give your nails a break so your body won't break. On second thought, let's not print that one. Sounds a bit ominous?
A little, yeah. But hey, if it keeps us aware, it's doing its job. We might not have the perfect t-shirt slogan, but we have some decent reminders. Watch for your nails to fade in color. Watch for changes in lunulaes. Watch for ridges or slow growth. Those subtle changes might just be your body's gentle nudge to tune up your lifestyle. Remember, the biggest takeaway is that your nails are basically mini ambassadors from your cells, broadcasting the state of your metabolic kingdom. Don't ignore them.
Ambassadors from your cells. I like that. And I like that we can close this episode out on such a regal note. Folks, that's all for Dr. Mercola's cellular wisdom today. Pay attention to those fascinating filaments at your fingertips, just not while you're driving. We'll catch you next time with more unconventional angles on your well-being.
Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, may your circulation be steady. Stay healthy, everyone.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.